if we make a prediction, so it's about making predictions on our line of best fit. So once we've got our data up and our regression line, sorry, not that one, this one here. Once we've got our data and we've got our lineup of best fit, where is it? Here it is. We can actually make predictions of, like, say, for example, if this value was 65, what would this value be? We can make predictions like that, but we use the formula that we've been given, okay? So it's important for us to know how to find that regression line. So today we're actually going to use that regression line in order to make predictions, okay? There's two particular words that we need to focus on today. That is interpolation and extrapolation. And this first question here beautifully captures that. So if we are talking about making a prediction that is within the range of data or within the data set, is that extrapolation, so extra, or is that interpolation, into?
Intra.
Inter.
Yep, into or interpolation. So that's how I imagine it. So if it's outside, then that's extra, yeah? So we call it extrapolation. Don't pronounce it as extrapolation. It's extrap. So the pronunciation changes a little bit, okay? So that's our focus for today. Take that, chuck it in our notes. And yes, we're going to be using our CAS calculators again. So if you can pull that out, I'm pretty sure you know the drill now. So this exercise, we do use a lot of the CAS, okay? So we will once again have a table. What we can do is we can actually create an equation from it using the regression line. After that, the question follows is that what you have to do is just substitute values in here into the time, okay, in order to predict the mark. So I'm gonna just probably do one example here, or maybe two examples, there's a couple of questions in here, 5 questions. I'll work backwards. I'll start with question number 5, and then we'll do that. And then so 7G today is our focus. And this is where Mr. Narayan's class is up to as well. So I guess we're on track. Can I just get a rating? Just type in the chat here to me, because I want to get a rating of your understanding for the topic so far. 10 being like, oh, this stuff is like easy, versus 1, which is like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So if you can just type in the chat, I'm just going to change it to directly message me. It's all right. Well, if you weren't here for some of the topics, again, I'm going to say it again and again and again. And please use it. I've uploaded lessons onto YouTube, so you should be able to access it in your own time. If you don't understand what's going on, it's your responsibility to go through it. Just rate this topic so far 1 to 10. Like everything that we've learned so far and how well you understand it. Okay, looking good. All right. This one. Okay. All right. Sounds good. So let's have a look here. We have come across. Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you for your feedback. Okay. So I'll definitely take that into consideration. So having a read of this question here, it says the equation that relates the weights with the heights of a group of students whose height are ranged from 163 centimeters to 190 centimeters is. So this is the formula here. Okay. And this is the range of values here. So we know we have students measuring from 163 to 190. We've got our formula here. This is what was covered in our previous question or our previous exercise. This was the regression line. Okay, so notice how they don't use X and Y. They actually changed it back to have the ideas replaced there. But you can see this is in the form of Y equals A plus B X. Okay, and there's a times in between there. So just remembering this structure here. So we've got the formula there. That's important. Another striking piece of information as well is this idea that we've got the data from, so points from 163 to 190. Now it says use this equation. So transitivity analysis, we must use. What are we using? This equation to predict the weight of a student with the following heights. Okay. Actually, there's more here. To predict is actually another verb. So that's what we're doing. What are we predicting? We're predicting the weight of the students. So it says here, are you interpolating or extrapolating? What I'm going to continue doing as well is we're actually going to find the other things as well. This here is an extra question. Are you interpolating or extrapolating? So we actually have to consider both of those questions or those parts there. All right. So for part A, what does that 170 mean? 170 centimeters. They've given that to us as a piece of information.
Height.
Okay, so we know that it is the height. So we can say the height equals to 170. All right. We can write 170 centimeters, but I'm going to write 170 just so we can substitute it into the formula here. So if we have a formula, we know that we need to write it out. So step number 1, write the formula. And this is what I would do in my book, right? Make sure you write out the formula, then directly underneath it, you're going, what's the next step?
Substitute.
Substitute. We're substituting not the weight here. We don't have the weight, yeah?
The
But we
height.
have the height. Yeah, so we're going to sub that in. 170. We go to our CAS calculator. We're not doing a listen spreadsheet, so I'm just going to press on calculator. And we type in our line. Now, if I push a negative here, it's a negative 40. So just at the start of the line, I want to use this button here instead. So negative 40 plus 0.6 times 170. That equals to 62. Sometimes you can press Control Enter 2 just to see if there's any decimal places. So we got 62 for our answer. Go back over to the iPad. Yusuf, I'm just going to update you here. Mark you as present. All good. So we got 62. Is that our final answer? Oh, whoops. Yes, thank you, Daniel. 62 kilograms, because we're talking about the weight. Okay, I need you to. So having a look here, with this 170 centimeters, are we interpolating or are we extrapolating? Are we looking within or are we looking outside the values that have been given?
Inside.
Inside. Inside which number?
Interpolation. Between 163 and 190. And the value we've been given is 170.
That's correct. So you can see here that if the person is 170, that lies within that. So we are interpolating. So interpolation. I'm just going to write the reason here, just so you can see why, okay? Because 170 centimeters is between
Interpolation and because you should write a semicolon.
what?
Between the word, yeah.
Why can't I write it as a fluid sentence?
Because, I don't know, looks nicer.
I'm just going to keep it as a fluid sentence.
Okay. Then grammatically it's incorrect.
All right. So 65 centimeters is next. Again, this is the height. So we know that height equals to 65. We can substitute that in. I might do that over here actually, just so you can see them side by side. The process is absolutely the same. So I'll do it again. First comes the formula. And if I'm writing it like this, then I expect you to do it the same when you go to complete your exercise. Substitute, then evaluate on your CAS. So I'm just going to go to my CAS here. I know there's a block over the screen. Just bear with me. I'm just going to type it in. So -40. Okay, I'll tell you a trick here. If you can't be bothered typing it again, and you've already got the calculation out there, but you had a different value substituted, just press up until you highlight that line, press enter, backspace, and the value that changed there, if you compare, it was at 170, it changed to a 65. Press enter, -1. I'm just going to press Control Enter just to make sure. Okay, so bring it back. The weight is -1 kilograms. Now, is this interpolation or extrapolation? We've got to look at the 65 centimeters and compare that with our data there, our range of data. Thanks, boss. Extrapolation, correct. So EX for extra, yeah? And then polation. .65 centimeters lies outside of 160 centimeters to 190 centimeters. Now, if you actually have a look here, this -1 kilos, is that even possible?
No,
Hmm. So what can we say about extrapolation?
doesn't always work.
Yeah. But interpolation, because it's within the data, we know it's going to be safe. Yeah. It's like a safe zone. So extrapolation might not always be reliable. So we can't always trust extrapolation. Okay. And this is a key idea when you go into year 12 next year. Okay. When you extrapolate, you can't always trust the answer that it gives you because it's a prediction. In the end, it's a prediction. Okay. So remember this idea of predicting. You can make a true prediction or you can make a false prediction. So that's pretty much it. We can end the lesson here if we wanted to, but I just want to see here.
Is
We're
that
going
the
to do
end?
H next
Oh,
week. You know, we'll do a couple more questions, but then I want to go back and I want us to do a question from 7F, and then I might write a few more questions on it. Okay. I'll show you how a full question would be structured. Well, actually, as you do question number 2 here, I'm going to go look for an exam question.